Arthur Conan Doyle molded the most brilliant detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes, whose stories continue to grab attention and still happen to be the showstopper. One of the reasons why we love it is the notable actors who made their roles exceptionally well. Let's talk about them in this video. Number 1. Robert Downey Jr. Let's begin with the richest Sherlock Holmes actor, Mr. Robert Downey Jr. The actor has a net worth of $305 million. It is no wonder that more than half of his money comes from the Marvel Universe. Who can forget the famous Tony Stark? The renowned Sherlock Holmes was portrayed and received by the audience with the face of RDJ. He played Sherlock Holmes in 2 movies. One was Sherlock Holmes, directed by Guy Ritchie and released in 2009. The other one was when RDJ starred in the Sherlock Holmes A Game of Shadows, directed by Guy Ritchie back in 2011. Number 2. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell comes next in the row. Being a millionaire, his net worth happens to be around $160 million. He has come on the list of highest paid actors multiple times. Now let's take a look at his Sherlock Holmes movie. He was Sherlock Holmes in Holmes & Watson, with John C. Reilly undertaking Watson's role, and the movie was released in 2018. The movie had a genre of mystery as well as comedy in it. The audience didn't receive the movie well, as they weren't used to seeing Holmes that way. The movie was indeed considered a flop. Number 3. Sir Ian McKellen. Sir Ian McKellen became the new face of Sherlock Holmes in people's mind in 2015. The movie, Mr. Holmes, opened a new door to portraying Sherlock Holmes as a 93-year-old man suffering from dementia. The movie was directed by Bill Condon. The actor has a net worth of $60 million, making him the 3rd richest actor in the series of Sherlock Holmes. People remember him as Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and Magneto in X-Men. Having completed almost 7 whole decades in the field of acting, he is one of the most respected and brilliant actors at present. Number 4. Benedict Cumberbatch. Ask anyone what their favorite version of Sherlock Holmes was, and they'll most likely come up with the answer of Holmes in the famous TV series Sherlock. The series was based on Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes tales. BBC adapted the writer's story and created a modern version of Sherlock Holmes, who is also autistic. The fan base for this mystery thriller series was immense, and the role of Sherlock Holmes was safe in the hands of Benedict Cumberbatch. The first picture that comes to everyone's mind when they hear of Sherlock Holmes is that of Benedict. The actor brilliantly portrayed the role and left the audience in love with the character. Needless to say that Benedict Cumberbatch has also made his name famous by becoming Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has a net worth of $40 million, out of which a major portion will be coming from his acting in the Marvel Studios. Number 5. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill appears to be the next millionaire on the list. He has enacted the role of Sherlock Holmes in the series Enola Holmes. However, the whole story revolved around Enola Holmes and not all about Sherlock. Even though he had a small role, Henry shined through with his professional acting skills being Sherlock Holmes. Henry has a net worth of around $40 million US. Apart from this role, the world knows him as Superman. Acting in The Man of Steel is his most iconic role. His role as Superman was well received by the audience, and people are ready to have him as Superman again in the upcoming DCEU films. Number 6. Johnny Lee Miller. The series Elementary starred Johnny Lee Miller as Sherlock Holmes. It is always difficult to put forward a character that has been portrayed several times by several actors. However, this series gave a new angle and definition to the already famous character. Sherlock Holmes was seen as a drug addict who is slightly recovering. The role of Joan Watson was handed over to Lucy Liu, playing the female version of John Watson. Johnny was paid $100,000 for each episode of Elementary he acted on. This makes him the next millionaire on the list. The actor is estimated to have a net worth of $14 million. Number 7. Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing has a history of acting from 1958's Dracula movie to his most famous Star Wars movies. Did you know that this famous actor has also acted as the detective Sherlock? The actor spent 6 decades of his lifetime in the acting arena when we finally lost him to prostate cancer in 1994. His net worth at the time of his death was $10 million. Peter played the detective role 3 times. One was for the Hound of the Baskervilles, the second time for Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes, and the third and final time for the Masks of Death. Cushing remains to be remembered by many as Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars. Click on one of these 2 videos on the screen right now.